Congratulations to the bride and groom. Who would have thought that Liam was capable of saying such few words? For those of you that don't know me, I'm Oli, best man and long-suffering sidekick to the groom. You may recognise me as the member of the Liam Sullivan project with the long hair and beard that isn't Liam Sullivan. You may also recognise me as the target and victim of the majority of Liam's terrible on-stage banter. Well, now I've got the microphone.
Have no mercy!
So me and Liam have known each other pretty much our entire lives. There's many stories that I could tell, but I'm planning to keep it relatively brief, as I'm sure you're all eager to continue with the celebrations, and also in accordance with the terms of my illegally binding I must admit that the prospect of writing a speech for today has been quite anxiety-provoking for me. Not least due to my fears of public speaking, or that Liam's currently embarked on a massive creative fucking writing. Also, the last time I stood up in front of a teacher to talk, I did get detention. Strippers in. My relationship with Liam goes way back, almost 30 years. You would get less for murder, and well overdue a commendation certificate for long service. We first met before starting first school, at an age where most people aren't even capable of remembering. So I mean it very literally when I say I can't remember a time that we weren't friends. My memories of Liam as a child are of a small weedy boy who had a strange obsession for jam sandwiches. In our group of friends, he was always the more sensible one. Like, we'd be out there cruising through the streets, hard with the concrete on our skateboards. Liam would be making sure he got off his BMX to take it up and down curves. As we met each other from such a young age, it was only natural that we would go on to share similar interests and experience a lot of firsts together.
No?
Following our shared obsession with professional wrestling, we both started our training in martial arts, in jiu-jitsu initially. Liam soon transitioned into training in kickboxing, meanwhile I transitioned into having girlfriends. I've since found myself returning to the mat later in life, whereas Liam has remained dedicated throughout. An impressive feat which has resulted in earning a 4th Dan black belt.
Thank you.
As time went on, we both developed a love for music, often spurred on by listening to Kev's tapes in the van on the way to training. Soon after this, we started our first band, Munition. The band comprised of myself, Liam, and our other close friend Dean, who after an extended period of time later in life, living with and spending a lot of time with Liam, for some reason, moved to the other side of the world. We toured all over the country in West Yorkshire playing with this band. Often in a supporting position for Kev's band Orchid. One particularly raucous gig, I remember the band plus the sound guy making up 100% of the audience in attendance. Despite that, it was still a fairly momentous occasion in that halfway through Orchid's set and in the midst of a 4-man mosh pit, Liam was launched into the back of Dee's head by the sound guy and his nose exploded. Alongside these pastimes, we'd often spend our days, as any of the young boys would, digging in bushes for pornography and accepting bribes from gypsies. Over time spent playing in our band and other projects with other musicians, Liam realised that sat behind the drums wasn't quite cutting it for him, and the only position of frontman could begin to quell his undying need for attention. So we started playing guitar a bit more seriously and writing songs all about his feelings. Not long after this, a new band was formed, No Trays or Foxes. I I feel I am no way exaggerating in saying that we were probably better than the Beatles.
True.
Liam was playing solo gigs around this time after building up his skills and experience busking on the streets, and I remember him telling me about his determination to make music a main source of his income. I'm proud to say that Liam is still regularly making music and is able to make a decent bit of money in doing so. I must admit that I find it amazing the level of dedication this man has towards not getting a proper job. Following the unfortunate demise of No Trades Off Foxes, Liam has continued to flourish in his role as man who likes the sound of his own voice. Whilst I am quite happy to take a bit more of a back seat in our musical endeavours, these days I'm quite content in playing alongside a group of other musicians to create various musical backdrops over which Liam can tell you all about his feelings. So last October, Liam's stag do was held over in Lisbon.
Oh.
Whilst we were there, we spent our time enjoying ourselves and soaking up the Portuguese culture. But in all seriousness, it was a fantastic trip and a great opportunity for us to all get to know each other and Liam better. Things we learned in particular about Liam during this trip were he is a weak man. That if you give him a t-shirt with his face on it, he will unashamedly wear it. And also at times he's a little bit too enthusiastic to show his arsehole. Incidentally, one of the other things we learned about Liam during this trip is something that we all probably already know about Liam. He can be a bit of a stickler about being on time. Indeed, the best wedding present I could think of was showing up on time. So you can imagine he was a little bit perturbed when, on the second evening of our stag do, for some reason we just couldn't seem to get our act together to get to the restaurant on time. It is a big group of lads, some possibly slightly inebriated. It's a logistical nightmare trying to get them anywhere on time. Unfortunately, we're a touch late for our evening reservation, and the staff were understandably a bit frustrated. Liam was embarrassed. He was trying to disappear under the room with his cowboy hat. It was all a little bit unfortunate and uncomfortable, but don't worry, Liam, you'll be probably pleased to relieved to hear that I'd managed to foresee the difficulties that he would encounter on him leaving the Airbnb. So the day after you called to make the reservation, I called to change it. I wasn't convinced that we'd be able to delay you for an entire hour, but I was impressed and I have to say a little proud of the concerted effort made by every member of the back there, heels, dilly-dally and otherwise, trying to stress you out to the maximum. I was most amazed when news reached from the upstairs flat that Will Fletcher had apparently taken the improvisational liberty to get in bed and go to sleep. It did transpire that Will had actually contracted a perfectly timed bout of food poisoning, which I think you all agree demonstrates outstanding dedication to the role. A few weeks ago, myself and Liam embarked on another stag adventure along with John. After Liam became a little jealous that Laura was having a few too many parties with him. This time we elected to complete the Yorkshire Three Peaks, which we managed in around 11 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. I must point out that unfortunately not all of us were able to
Weak.
You tried.
Myself and Liam completed the full challenge and thus officially earned the title as a joint Kings of the Mountain.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few crappy metaphors I could use about climbing mountains and relationships, but I'll leave them to your imagination. I know that Liam would probably like to keep me talking about him, but Laura is also here too. So it'd be unfair not to give her a mention at least. As most of you are undoubtedly aware, Liam was once employed at Nando's. And this is where he first met Laura.
No.
I remember one evening in particular when I knew that Laura and Liam were meant for each other. We were out one night at a bar, presumably filled with Nando's employees. I was stood off to one side, and at one point I remember distinctly glancing over and seeing them both sat side by side, completely dominating their respective conversations at two different tables. I knew at that point that Liam might have met his man. Laura was always a supportive and attentive girlfriend and would often come to show support for Liam at our gigs. I remember one evening in particular when chatting outside of a venue and showing her enthusiasm, Laura was very keen to understand what the exact difference between my guitar and Liam's guitar was. She couldn't understand why my guitar kept on making these strange, beautiful noises. Whereas Liam's didn't. All joking aside, it was clear that Laura wasn't really content with just being seen as Liam's girlfriend and went to great efforts to get to know me and Liam's other friends too. Over time, it has become apparent that we two share a fair few interests, and I can think of far more than one occasion where we have been sat around the table, deeply engrossed in conversation around psychology, maths, education, and many other subjects, whilst Liam stared vacantly at the wall. I can honestly say that Laura, you have far surpassed the title of just Liam's girlfriend, and I'm very happy to call you a good friend as well. Now for the topic. Liam and Laura are a couple to be envied. They have been together for a long time, through house moves, job changes, good times and bad times. They've been together through it all, and they're still here and still moving forward together. What makes them a strong couple is they have things that many others lack, and which I think are foundational principles for any modern positive relationship. Good communication, compassion, love and empathy for one another, and through their shared passion for kickboxing, regularly scheduled time slots to engage in mutual combat. Liam, I love you. And you're like a brother to me. Laura, I love you too. And I'm pleased to see that you as my new sister-in-law. I love you both dearly, and I hope that the future in your life together brings you both happiness and contentment. And in honour of the bride and groom, and in light of Liam's continued foray into creative writing, I decided to finish the speech with a small poem, which I feel reflects my love for the two of you. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with Liam. So without further ado, I would like to ask you all to join me in toasting a happy couple. Thank you.